This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good morning, everybody. Morning, afternoon. I've not been up long. I woke up today thinking, did I have a nightmare last night? Did I? Or was it not real? I came out and I came into the studio here. I logged on and as you can see, it wasn't a dream, it wasn't a nightmare. It was Leicester City 2, Newcastle United 4. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. We're going to do a special looking back at last night to see how we feel.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
I've never done one of these before because we've always done the post-match show and that's been it. But I thought, let's see. Because I was hoping I would feel a little bit calmer today. I don't know how you guys feel. Let me know. Do you feel any calmer today? So I thought, well, look, take my sort of post-match angry eyes out, if you like, and put my, oh, God, it gets worse. Put my... post-day, if you like, glasses on and have a look at it. I was about to actually say Leeds United were doing us a favour because they're actually hosting Tottenham today in the early kick-off, and they had gone 1-0 up. Thanks, Leeds. Tottenham have pulled it back now to 1-1. Come on, Leeds, do us a favour. But yeah, this is Leicester Till I Die, YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. Give us a subscribe if you like what you see. Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group, and on the Twitter sphere, at Leicester TID. We're going to say a quick hello. Hi, Chris. Not a bad dream, I'm afraid. No, it wasn't, was it? Dead Cheddar, good morning, good afternoon to you. I'm going to say good morning for ages. Wouldn't be easier just to forget last night? It would, but we can't. We can't forget it because it happened and it's going to possibly affect all the season. I mean, is this our point of having a bad run? And if we are, it's going to come at a really, really, really bad time. Or, how can I say, were we just a bad day at the office? As somebody said last night, we've had lots of bad days at the office this season, and it would be very easy for me to come on here, a bit like the Arsenal fans after the Champions League, and have a bit of a meltdown. But, I want to say, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the whole thing. And, how bad a season has it been? I mean, reality check here, we're third in the table. That might not be for much longer, but at the moment, we're third in the table. We're the only team that's been in the top 4 all season. We might fall out at the end, but, Man City haven't been up there. Tottenham and Arsenal certainly haven't. Chelsea have only just come in and they had to change the manager to do that. West Ham have popped in every now and again. Tottenham, of course, had a couple of hours on top and released a video to celebrate. But we are Leicester City. 5 years ago today, we were celebrating, 5 years ago yesterday, we were celebrating lifting the Premier League trophy. That means 6 years ago-ish, we were celebrating just staying up. And I say just, we had a game or two to spare, but it was still just. We'd spent longer on the bottom and survived than any other team before. Before that, we'd had a good season in the Championship. The season before that, we'd lost to Watford in that playoff semi. I mean, we've had a checkered history. We know that. But, we are Leicester City. We've no God-given right to be where we are now. But we have, and we deserve it because we've played well over the season. The table is a season defining gauge because it shows every single game you are where you deserve to be. Matthew, history looks like repeating. What an opportunity we have. Stephen, good afternoon to you. Craig said best last night. Chris, not a battle among them. We need to be objective in our assessment of our team. Look, people have stood up this season when we've needed them to. Can you remember at the start, we were really, really struggling for, fit players. We've got Christian Fuchs coming in, who played more games this season than he has in the previous 3 or 4 put together. Luke Thomas we'd never heard of, and he was having to come on in a European game and he went on to score. I suppose that, if you look at the youngsters that we've got, the future's bright, the future's blue, as they say, but look at it as this season. Okay, we just missed out last season, and we thought, okay, top 5. It was a shame. We should have been sort of in the Champions League. Personally, I think had we got through to the Champions League this season, we would have been embarrassed. I think the Europa League was our level, and we did reasonably well in it. We weren't really embarrassed. Although the last game against Slavia Prague obviously wasn't the best, but that's been the story, not just of our season though, of everybody's season. Yes, Newcastle 2, Leicester City 2, Newcastle 4. That was wishful thinking, wasn't it? But let me say, Chelsea 2, West Bromwich Albion 5, Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 7. It's been that sort of season. Somebody said last night, yes, it was possibly a bad day at the office, but we have had a lot of bad days at the office this season. But other teams have as well. And I think it's really, really hard to judge any club or any manager, I believe, on this season alone. If we said at the start of the season, it's always easy to quote these things, but if we said at the start of the season, like, hey, we're going to sort of be in the top 4 all season up until a few games to go, possibly. We're going to get through to the last 16 of the Europa League. But we're going to have horrendous injuries. We're going to have an injury list longer than the first team list. We'll be playing players that we've never even heard of. We'll be getting players almost out of retirement, and yet we'll still manage to do that. And we'll still start off by being, the best team as we've seen in Europe this season, 5-2. That's perspective for you. It hurt. Yes, I mean, Stephen Collins said here, it hurts because we care so much. Brad said last night, and it was a very, very, very good point, or Josh said, I can't remember, one of the two said, but it was a very good point, whichever one said it. Winning the league was a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, it was good because it was amazing what we did, but it raised our expectations very, very high. Suddenly, we were expecting to, and we all did a little bit thinking like, yeah, we're going to have this every season. It didn't happen. We had to kind of take a step back to take a couple of steps forward, which we have obviously done. We've got a top-class manager in. Yes, he makes mistakes. Who hasn't at work? But let's not start calling for Brendan's head. You know, he has done miracles with what the hand he's been dealt this season. You know, I can remember, 4 or 5 games into the season, Man City weren't even in the top 7, I don't think, and Man City fans were calling for Pep's head. I wonder how they're feeling now. It is such an odd season, but I keep coming back to the fact of, if we finish 5th or possibly 6th, because we've got Man City, we've got Chelsea in the Champions League final. Man United might even win the Europa League, so the European places could go down a bit further. Like Stephen said, it would hurt if we only made the Europa League again, but in the great scheme of things, for Leicester City, it is good. How many times have we seen teams in the past have a good season and then disappear, or have a good start to the season and then disappear? I thought this season Sheffield United will be sort of solidifying their place in the Premier League after last season. They didn't. They haven't. Blackburn Rovers, they won the Premier League once. Where are they now? They've been down to the 3rd tier. The fact that, if you've got this so-called big, top, greedy 6, whatever you want to call them, we're never going to break into that, because that's the media's perception of the Premier League. That is the top table. What we've got to do is not break into that, because we know that Arsenal will come back. We know that Tottenham will probably come back. What we've got to do is make it a top 7. If we do that, is that not, for the club the size of Leicester, good enough? We know if we finish and get European football, whether it be Europa or Champions League, 3 seasons out of 4, is that not good for Leicester City? I think it is. I honestly do. Because it is Leicester City. Compare us to, I don't know, let's say Preston North End, Blackburn Rovers at the moment, Rochdale, Stockport, those sort of clubs. They'll look at us and they'll think, yeah, they've got money. They can afford, Did you ever think Leicester would go out and spend £40 million on one player? I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. But compared to Man City, compared to Man United, although they are obviously mortgaged up to the hilt, they have got owners that money, they go sit on the toilet and they shit money. Our owners are rich, yes, but we've gone through a pandemic that has probably affected our owners a lot more than it's affected a lot of other owners, because of the industry that they are in. They've probably made they would have made, let's face it, peanuts this year from, the duty-free shops, etc. So we've got to sort of put that reality into place. And I've woken up this morning and Dead Cheddar, I'm just reading your point here. It is a good point. We have to maintain a high expectation, or do we develop Nottingham Forest syndrome? We've been there, done that. Yes, I agree. And when how many years did we have the Jimmy Bloomfield syndrome? As Martin O'Neill said when he came in, everybody saying, you're not playing like Jimmy Bloomfield. Jimmy Bloomfield did this, his team played well, blah, blah. I watched ITV4 this morning. Keith Weller's goal against Luton Town won the goal of the decade on a big match retro show, but they never won anything. And Martin O'Neill, as Gary Lineker said when he was reviewing the championship winning season, yes, we had success under Martin O'Neill, but it was the League Cup. That was, what we did then was the Premier League. What we could possibly do is be in, when we won, let's face it, when we won those cups under Martin O'Neill, as great as they were, and I'm not quitting them, Martin O'Neill is God to me. We got into Europe, we never made it past the first round. I know it's different these days that we've got, leagues now rather than knockouts, but are we not doing better? we've got to have high expectations, Dead Cheddar. I agree 100%. We're football fans. It's part of our DNA to have expectations for our club. But what we've also got to do, I think, is balance that out with a bit of reality. Arsenal at the moment, it's the first time they've not had European football in 25 years. So if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be finding it very hard this morning. If we end up in the Europa League and not the Champions League, like I say, is that such a bad thing? Yeah, it's not. Not for Leicester. I honestly don't think it is, And if we finish 5th, 6th, it's still an achievement. Couple that up with the fact that next Saturday, this time next Saturday, I will be sat on the toilet, I'll tell you, because next Saturday we've got a little matter, but all the flags behind me, it's the old FA Cup final. Let that sink in. We're top 4 or 5 at the moment, and we're in an FA Cup final. Okay. Play like last night, we might not win it. Play like we did against Man United in the quarters, we've got a good chance, I believe. So it all depends what Leicester turns up. But, you can say that about any team. If the Chelsea that played Real Madrid turn up, they might wipe the floor with us. But if the Chelsea that have got a Champions League final in mind, and the Chelsea that turned up against West Brom turn up, we could win it. Look at Wigan beating Man City. It's the game, it's what happens on the day. So in the great scheme of things, and I keep saying that, but we do, last night was bad. Last night was probably as low as I felt all season. And, we've lost some games. I mean, if we have a look here at our results this season, I mean, we've had some funny ones, haven't we? We started off against West Brom, Burnley, we lost to Arsenal, but then we had the Man City game. And we're like, let's be honest, with football fans, we beat Man City 5-2, and we suddenly think, we're gonna win the damn thing. We then lost to West Ham. Now at the time, that seemed bad, but this is what I'm saying about perspective. We lost 3-0 to West Ham, and we thought, that is really, really bad. Was it? Because look at how West Ham are this season. They're not the team at that point that we thought they were from the previous season. They're a lot better. They're 2 places behind us. Last season they were fighting relegation. So, again, great scheme of things, that wasn't the bad result that we thought it was. We were having a couple of good runs there in the old Europa League. With 3-0, 2-1 wins. We beat Leeds 4-1. Liverpool beat us. What can you say? Yeah, what can you say? It seems Southampton got to lose 1 game every season, 9-0. We've got to lose at least once to Liverpool every season. Then came the Fulham game. Yeah, home to Fulham. That was almost as bad as I felt last night, because we expect to beat them. But it happens, like I say. And, we had some good results following that. We beat Spurs 2-0. We've obviously had a good run in the old FA Cup, although we've not played particularly until we got to Man United, strong teams. But, we put Man United out, we put Southampton out. I mean, look at that Southampton, a game of 2 bad teams, and still we managed to sneak it. So, we've been there, but as I said to you yesterday in the shows, I've been on a couple of Newcastle fan sites, of doing these sort of shows here. And their fans are completely down. Their owner, you know what it's like. They hate him, they hate the manager. You think you hated Peter Taylor, it comes nothing compared to how Newcastle fans felt about Steve Bruce. And that 4-2 prediction, nobody would have thought of. Well, maybe a couple of Newcastle fans, but it was 4-2 to us. So last night, it went wrong. Is it the fact that we had a bad game and we get that out the system? You know, we've done it now. Dead Cheddar, he's obviously not cheered up, Dead Cheddar. Last night was the factory of pain, especially after that performance against 10-man Saints team. But, I mean, when you look at what we've got coming up, and yes, they were bad performances, and that followed on from the performance, you know, against Southampton in the cup, which we squeaked through. We've got, people are saying, a hard end to the season. And yes, I guess we have. You know, if we have a look at it here, we've got Man United on Tuesday, the FA Cup, then we've got Chelsea and we've got Spurs. Now, Spurs are currently losing 2-1 to Leeds United. Is that a hard game? I mean, we are top 4 all season. Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham should be looking at that and thinking, we've got to play Leicester. But yes, they might look at last night and go, we can beat that shower. They may well say that. But they might also look at the Man City game. They might also look at sort of the West Brom game. Because there's games that we have played, as I jokingly said last night, like Brazil. And there's games we've played like Rochdale. But so have Man United. So have Chelsea. So have Spurs. You know, Man United are going to have a Europa League final. Ollie's got to win that. It's the minimum he's got to do. You know, Jose won that, got them to second and got sacked. So this has got to be the minimum that Ollie's got to do. So his mind is going to be on, you know, his team for the Europa League final. I don't know when that is or when that's coming up, but he's going to be protecting, I think, his team for that. Chelsea, the league game will, I think, you have a lot depending on how we did in the FA Cup, but they've also got a Champions League to think about. And Spurs, you know, I mean, I say they're losing. They were 1-0 down, got it back to 1-1. They're 2-0 down now. Bamford scored. Maybe we should put a bid in for him in the summer. But, you know, this is the thing. You know, it's not. I don't know why we should look at that and go, God, that's a hard end. We are up there with them. And we either sort of say, like I've said before, you know, we're Leicester, you know, with the underdogs, we're still 14th or 15th, and it's going to be a hard end. Or we're going to say, we're an improving Leicester, with a Leicester that's the top end. Not that we should expect it every season, not that we're going to be top 4 every season, but we're certainly a top 5, 6, 7th place team every season. And that means that when we play teams like that we shouldn't be as worried as I think we're going to be. And if anybody's out there that's, I mean, I'm 16, I've supported Leicester all my life, and anybody sort of a certain age, or even a younger age, will know the old saying, you know, following Leicester is a roller coaster ride. Okay? And we can easily go out and put a performance like that in against Newcastle, 3 days later go out against Man United and beat them 3-0 or something. It's Leicester. It's what we do. Michael, good morning, afternoon, evening. I'll cover all my bases there. I wouldn't play Madders on Tuesday. I probably wouldn't. No, bring him on. He seems to be more effective as a substitute than he is doing playing from the start. I think he's still trying to prove to us as the fans that forgive him for the party, but you know he's maybe trying too hard. Dad, you say in here, on a serious note, we don't have a squad that can maintain at least some semblance of consistency during bad injury. One word, Liverpool. What about their squad? They had as many bad injuries as us, I admit. Klopp tended to use it as an excuse more than Brendan did. But where are they? Where are they without a couple of key players? So, not just us. And you say that about the squad, Dad, and I see where you're coming from. You know, I'm not saying you're not going to point, but the start of the season, Amati, yeah, he's not a centre back, but you know, he's right back. I mean, but he came in, he did a job for us. Mendy came in and did a job for us. Luke Thomas came in, did Christian Fuchs came into. You can go on and on and on. Kelechi's still finding the back of the net. The worrying thing for me, and this is the worrying thing, is the amount of praise that has been heaped on the fact that we didn't have Johnny Evans in the squad last night, and that is a worry. Brendan saying, as good as Fofana and as good as Soyuncu are, they need Evans to be in there as the old head on his shoulders, making the decisions. And if he's walking off with crutches, then is he going to be back to the FA Cup final? So we're saying we've missed him, but only say that if you think we're going to have him back. Look at this. Last night, Alan Bennett, man of the match, Johnny Evans. And yes, it was a thing, the fact that, making out that we were that bad, and we were. He probably did play better in the warm-up than most players played for 90 minutes. Indeed, his game last night, is he ever going to have that bad a game again? Brendan is a good manager. He's got a few days to sort this out. We can't get rid of Brendan. I'm sorry. That's just a no-brainer. Brendan stays and he takes us forward. We are still a work in progress, and we've got to be careful that we're not saying that in 5 years' time. Oh, we're still a work in progress, but we are at the moment. So what I'm saying is, yes, last night was shit. Last night I felt so down. Woke up this morning, still feeling that way. So I've never come on and had a rant. And I know I've kind of gone off on all different angles here, because this wasn't a prepared show. This was just come on and see how people are feeling. Are they still, are you feeling any better? The day after the night before, it can sometimes be, let's move on. Let's, draw the line and make a fresh start. But like I say, we've got to remember what we've achieved this season. We've got players coming through. We've got players out at loan clubs that are probably going to make the grade next season. We've got, good owners that are looking after us. We've not got owners that are trying to sell us out and draw us into leagues we don't want to be. We're still going to be, I think, the worst we'll finish is 5th, possibly 6th. But, on a worst case scenario, you'd have taken that a couple of years ago, wouldn't you? And we've got a certain match next Saturday to look forward to, FA Cup final. So get over last night. I'm trying to, and let's think, in the big scheme of things, we've still not had that bad a season. I can tell you something now. There are 14 odd other clubs in this league, the Premier League, 14 other clubs that would love, doing me Kevin Keegan again now, would love to be in our position. Think about that. Back in a sec.
Leicester Till I Die TV. Your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Yeah, so last couple of comments here. Get it out of your system, Chris. This is an AA meeting for Fox fans. Stephen, you are probably so right. Somebody said, I don't know who it was earlier in the season, that these shows can be like therapy. So maybe it is. But it is, like I say, dead cheddar. If Man City are subpar this afternoon and Chelsea take advantage of that, we deserve everything we get. We do deserve what we get. Every team deserves what they get. Like they say, the table doesn't lie. But just remember how recently we've been where we were. It wasn't that we were, in the third tier 40 years ago, 50 years ago, whenever. It wasn't that we were fighting relegation from the Premier League with the worst record that probably was at the time for being bottom of the league 30, 40 years ago. Look at where we are now. We have bad results. Every team's had bad results this season. It's been a silly, weird season. We can turn it round. Remember the motto, keep the faith, because that's what we do as we're Leicester. Don't forget, guys, if you like Leicester Till I Die, if you like what we do, tune into the YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV, and give us a subscribe now. It would be really, really great and help us on our journey. And if you want to listen to us rather than watch us, as I say, I don't blame you at all. I've got to sit here and look at myself on the screen, so I know what you guys are putting up with. We're on podcasts, Leicester Till I Die, on Anchor, Google, Amazon Music, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Addict, to name but a few. And of course, your smart speaker, just say, play Leicester Till I Die podcast. Tuesday night, Man United, we go again. See you at about 5:10. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff for the pre-match show. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for letting me have a rant. I've got it off my chest. Going to go and have a good weekend now. Try, maybe watch the Formula 1 tomorrow. You do the same, guys. Hey, keep the faith, like I say, and we go again. Have a good weekend.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.